As an adult, don't we all miss spring break? Nothing like taking a week off from all your responsibilities. Well, here's the next best thing for adults, a spring break from house payments. SaveWithConrad.com can help you get rid of all your credit card debt, just like that. We're routinely helping our listeners save $500, $600, $700, even $800 a month. And you don't need perfect credit or money out of your pocket to do this, but check this out, no house payments for 2 months. At SaveWithConrad.com, NMLS number 2129, Equal Housing Lender. SaveWithConrad.com.
Cue Conrad.
What am I supposed to be doing?
I don't know. We're live, though.
Oh, okay. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
I was thinking maybe we'd talk about wrestling again.
How about a little, hey, it's Conrad Thompson bullshit?
Oh, do all that routine?
Yeah, that routine.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to What Happened When? With the voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, what's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, I'm fine. How are you? It's like I give a shit, but you're looking great today. Get back on Conrad here. Look at this. Look how sleek he looks.
I'm excited to be here, man. Right outside my window here is the Gulf of America, I guess. And I'm excited to be here on a Monday night, watch a little wrestling with you. We're going to watch Madison Square Garden, WWF, from March 24th, 1980. This is before I was born, before my parents were even married. So Tony Schiavone was fired up for it. Watch it along with us. It's on Peacock in the old school section. We want you to go to season 9, episode 1. That's Peacock. Old School, season 9, episode 1, March of 1980. Tony, what were you back then? About 40, 45 years old?
Let's see. March of 1980. I was March of 1980. I was in college. I was a senior in college. I would graduate in May, but I was working at a radio station at the same time. So I had a part-time job and already had lined up a full-time job by the time I graduated. So I was doing very, very well for myself. And, man, I miss those days, miss those days of not having any responsibility at all. My college tuition was paid for. I just had to go to school. I had to go to work. I had my mom's old, I think it was a Comet, and drive back and forth, and it was great. Life was great back then. Before I met Lois, before I moved to North Carolina to do baseball, before I started wrestling, and just romantic times back then.
The good old days. That's what we're doing today, and we want you to join us one more time. We're on Old School, season 9, episode 1. It's Madison Square Garden from March 24th, 1980.
Hey, did you see on the list of who we have with us, there is Talking Wrestling with Pondwater, and Amy has joined us.
Pondwater Dave in the house. Or Amy,
Dave?
but I think it's probably Pondwater. I could be wrong.
Okay.
So identify yourself.
Yeah, you don't just give us this bullshit name of your bullshit podcast. Tell us who you are.
Motherfucker, you. We want to know who you are. You got indoor, outdoor plumbing. That's all we need to know.
There you go.
Hey, Tony, do you have a special countdown? Oh, it's Dave. Of course it's Dave. Yeah. I knew I smelled flaming hot Cheetos. You know, it was in that very corner right there where Dave realized that well, never mind. You got us a countdown today?
No.
All right, great.
But I'll just do one myself.
I'm ready. I'm so fucking ready. Never been more ready in my whole fucking life.
Well, good. I can do a countdown because I'm fully functional as an announcer.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, that's what I was told at least one time.
Okay.
All right. But wait a minute now. Hang on. Before I do a countdown, I may be fully functional as an announcer, but obviously I'm not fully functional as.
You mean just do it? I mean, I can I can count backwards and all that.
I can't find my video.
Your cursor, your mouse, your penis, your button on
that
fur
too.
coat.
Okay, it's a personal thing. All right. Shit. Hang on a second. I lost my goddamn stream.
Just so you know, if Dave Silva was doing this right now, you'd be losing your mind about how unprofessional he was. Just want to remind you.
No, it's not like that. I wouldn't be that way. I would just lose my mind just because he's Dave Silva.
Oh yeah, well I get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Okay. I think I got it.
Well, all right, baby, let's go.
Okay. So when you call up and you go to zeros, you'll see presented in the most complete form possible due to original production technical difficulties. In other words, we didn't know what the fuck we were doing back in 1980, but now we do. In 3, 2, 1, please.
Oh, look at you speaking Kiz Arnie.
Yeah, how about that, Ms. Otherfucker?
And here we go, watching a little wrestling from 1980. Dave McClay, I'm using the microphone and not a studio because I'm at the beach. So yeah, we see this is the network open. This obviously wasn't the open that they used back then. These graphics would have blown people's mind in 1980, wouldn't they, Tony? Good talk.
Historic Boston Garden in Madison Square Garden. Oh man, look at the fans. Hogan pins the Sheik. He's the champ.
I love they sneak a little Coco Beware, a little Michael Hayes in there.
And a little Chief J Strongbow as well.
Oh, you know, there's almost no chance if Michael Hayes wasn't working in WWE that whoever was editing this wouldn't have put him in there. Almost no chance.
All right.
Hey, don't you wish you had one of those microphones like that one more time in wrestling? We should get that for like a big time AEW show for Justin Roberts.
Yeah, to bring the microphone down.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Just one good time.
Yeah, that would be great. I love how the police are facing the crowd as if to say, "Don't you move, motherfucker. This is some real shit."
Who are these first two jackoffs we're going to be watching today here, Tony?
I don't know.
It's Bulldog Brower and Frankie Williams. Frankie Williams,
Bulldog Brower.
Oh. Yeah.
Where's Frankie?
Yep, that's the fellow that Roddy Piper beat the fuck up on Piper's Pit, you may recall.
I don't recall that.
Oh, it's one of the most famous Piper's Pits of all time.
Look at Bulldog Brower. Holy shit.
I mean, what do you think Bulldog Brower ate for breakfast? How many cigarettes has he smoked in his life? How much gin?
Yeah. Stack of pancakes, a lot of sausages, cigarettes sticking out of the side of his mouth as he ate. And I have a feeling there was a beer right before lunch.
I bet he had two-tone tidy whities, you know, yellow in the front, brown in the back. Racing stripes.
Well, this is some classic shit we're watching here. Who came up with this one? Who came up with this?
This would be your fucking idea when I even mentioned.
No, it wouldn't be my fucking idea.
Well, listen, it's because of how old it is. You have to appreciate that we're watching this on the exact 45-year anniversary right now. So 45 years ago tonight, this match happened. And now who would have thought when this is happening right here, who would have thought 45 years later, people would watch it again at all?
Right.
Much less. I mean, think about all the people from ad-free shows and the WHW Monday Patreon who are joining us right now from literally all over the world.
Right.
I mean, I'm in Florida, you're in Georgia, and we've got people international here watching together a match from 45 years ago. That realistically, the majority of our audience wasn't even born when this match happened.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. They would have never imagined, if old Frankie Williams could see us now.
Yeah. Bulldog does not have a neck.
No.
No neck. Just a head on the shoulders.
He's also not very tall.
Right.
I mean, he's barely at the top rope. I remember his work in The Wizard of Oz. He ran that Lollipop Guild, and those are some bad dudes.
By the way, for those of you who are wondering, and you're probably not, but I'm sure many of you, especially if that worthless piece of shit Adam Dumoy was here.
Wow.
If you're worried about the February podcast, it will be posted as soon as we're off the air tonight.
Oh, and it was super fun, by the way. I actually asked John Layfield on Something to Wrestle today about that, and I got some more context. So
okay,
I think folks are really digging it. Hey, by the way, I saw in the news, I don't know if you saw this, but I wanted to give you a chance to address it because I know that you probably held him in high regard. Bill Mercer passed away at 99 years old. Did you see that?
I did not, and I did hold him in high regard. He had done some Cowboys work too.
Yeah,
Dallas Cowboys. Yeah,
he was even. I mean, he was like a major news figure in that era. I mean, even during the JFK assassination. I mean, so from the JFK assassination to the Dallas Cowboys to the Von Erichs, and the Von Erichs, that world class show, it was beamed all over the country. I mean, it was pretty revolutionary at the time with the stuff that Keith Mitchell was doing. Stupid ass Pondwater is telling us that he also called the Texas Rangers. Hey, by the way, I got to spend last Thursday in Arlington, and man, what a great facility. I know that you and I were there once before, but I didn't get to spend much time in like the esports arena or that Texas Live and all those sports bars attached. They've got some really cool space over there. I'm looking forward to All In this July.
It's really a cool area. It really is. As a matter of fact, Dallas is a pretty neat city.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's a great area. Of course, it's been a legendary area for wrestling, and you were talking about the Sportatorium and all that. But by the way, would you put up Bad Money Slim's last comment?
He's talking about, were you drinking some Surge? And then he says, no, it's some gay monster. Surge hasn't been around since 18, I believe.
Yeah.
Is that right? Surge has been gone since 2018?
I don't know. Isaac Wilson Riston wanted to know if I was drinking Surge. So no, this is Monster. And this is the my favorite flavor, Ultra Paradise.
Oh, I like that one. Is that the green?
That's the green, yes. And it's like
the green tastes like a sour apple. It's great.
Kind of, it's very good. And it because it's got paradise written on it, I feel like when I drink it, I'm in paradise.
No, you don't. That's a bold-faced lie.
Hey, dude, I'm a wrestling announcer. What do you want?
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Okay.
Hey, I was thinking about ways we could do some sort of guerrilla marketing.
Oh boy,
to promote our podcast.
Okay.
And I saw a lady advertising go-karts. So not like a golf cart, but like, you go around a go-kart track. Yeah. So she had one of those. And I thought, man, if we can get this kind of ad campaign for What Happened When, the sky's the limit. But as we watch this Bulldog Brower match, I feel like now would be a good time to just show you the marketing idea. So Silva, hit it.
Hi guys, my name is Ashley, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to go-kart race. Just kidding. I don't know anything about go-kart racing, and my name is Ashley, but for 80% off, you can see my pussy.
I was going to say, what go-kart?
The idea that it cuts when she first makes the P sound. When it cuts immediately right then, it makes me laugh. John Hamilton has requested that we replay that.
Okay.
I do think that commercial, because this is marketing. When people think the ads are so entertaining, they want you to replay it. Hit it, Silva.
Hi guys, my name is Ashley, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to go-kart race. Just kidding. I don't know anything about go-kart racing, and my name is Ashley, but for 80% off, you can see my pussy.
Isaac Griston wants to know, can we get a link? No. But see, this is the type of marketing. Do you see the live comments, dude? They're blowing up right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Pondwater Dave's saying he's feeling patriotic AF right now.
Right.
Bad Money Slim says Patriot Cooter on sale right there.
Right.
Chris North says she already had 80% off, please. Dave McClay just says, please. John Hamilton says, link, please. Dave McClay says, link. I mean, listen, people are fired up. Yeah. We have got to get a viral marketing campaign like that for us. It's, it's almost like everybody in our chat is kind of horny. If we almost had like a commercial we could play right now that addresses that very issue.
Listen, if there's one thing Tony Schiavone is known for, it's having the hardest ding dong in the locker room. And that's all because his tag team partner, Blue Chew Max, no, not MJF, although he is a prick. I got to recommend Blue Chew Max because check this out. It combines the active ingredients of Viagra and Cialis, but into one chewable. This is a tag team that acts fast and lasts. Guys, be ready whenever she needs it and get your first month of Blue Chew free. Great sex is really just a few clicks away. You get signed up at BlueChew.com. You chat with one of their licensed medical providers. And dude, once you're approved, you get your prescription in just a few days. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA. They're prepared and shipped directly to your door. And the best part is it's all done online. Now that means no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversation, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. So make your life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try your first month of Blue Chew free when you use the promo code WHW. Just pay $5 shipping. That's promo code WHW. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring today's podcast.
Amazing.
We are still watching Bulldog Brower and Frankie Williams. What's your favorite Bulldog Brower match?
I think this is the one right there. I can't think of anything he could do that's any better. I mean, look at he has that little patch of hair right on his forehead.
Main event anywhere in the country,
Anywhere
really,
in the
when you
world.
think about it.
Yeah. It's so big that no one's paying attention to it. There's an elbow drop and he gets the 3 count, which is a straight elbow drop. Who does that anymore?
Hypothetically speaking, back in Bulldogs Day, if it snowed, did you still have to go to the building, or was that not required back then, or how did that work?
You still should have gone to the building.
Oh, okay.
What are you trying to get at?
No, I know that there's been a lot of travel circumstances. I don't know if you saw, but a few years ago, there was actually a blizzard at the WWF headquarters, and they had JBL standing on top of the roof like a goof, and he was like trying to draw things out on a whiteboard. They were just literally pulling Monday Night Raw out of their ass, because I think the deal was if you didn't broadcast, you didn't get paid, sort of deal. Wow. And I think they only had one wrestler in the building, and it was the former John Moxley. At the time, he was known as Dean Ambrose. And I just thought it was interesting that last week when there's a blizzard and fans can't even get in the building, not only does he make it, but he's fallen on a bed of nails, Tony. My God. What a visual.
Do you know?
Hey, look at this. This is Kerry Von Erich. Is this his debut for Madison Square Garden right here? Pondwater, you're with us. Don't act like you don't fucking know, you goddamn Marine Man of Von Erichs.
Okay. This could be. Look how young he is. Holy smokes.
I mean, dude, he couldn't have been old. It's 1980, you know?
Yeah. By the way, Josh Henney was there and in Omaha. And let's hear it for the fans who came out, because we had a great crowd. We were expecting the worst, but they came out and they he got that bed of nails in his back and had to get pulled out, and probably had needed a tetanus shot after that.
Dude, it was crazy spectacle.
Yeah, it was. It was when they were pulling the spike out, it was just taking skin with it. It was like unbelievable. Okay, so Jose Estrada, Kerry Von Erich.
Yeah, I'm trying to look and see if this is indeed Kerry Von Erich's first match in MSG, and I have confirmed it is. They're going to go 10 minutes and 40 seconds. It's interesting because he's not going to be back here for more than 10 years. Wow. He'll come back as the Intercontinental Champion to wrestle Mr. Perfect. So think about that. You got a young Kerry Von Erich here wrestling his Madison Square Garden debut over Jose Estrada. And at the time, let me see, when was my man born? Okay, he started wrestling in 78. So he's less than 2 years into his career here. My God.
Well, this is back in the time. He's
20. He's a 20-year-old man.
I know. This is like the territories are still a thing in 1980.
Oh yeah, but I mean, look how ripped he is
right.
at 20 years old, and he's in Madison Square Garden. I know it's not the main event, but this is unbelievable to think. You know, I mean, he was born in 60, and this is 80.
Jeez.
What a success story he is too. I mean, I know people listen, obviously we know it was a sad ending and it was a flawed family and yada, yada, yada. But goodness gracious, to go from this humble beginning to be here as a 20-year-old, and when you come back 10 years later, you're the Intercontinental Champion. You know, JR always used to say, go away and learn a new hold. Well, he went back to world class and had a hell of a career, and then came to the World Wrestling Federation, and bam, IC champ. And in an alternate universe, I could have seen Vince getting behind a guy like him.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
if Hogan wasn't there, like he had all the other intangibles, the look and the physique and all that.
Is this before Vince Jr. took over?
Yes.
Okay. So what we're seeing now is the case of Madison Square Garden, right, the Mecca, so to speak. And a lot of guys, a lot of territories would send some of their young guys there to get the experience to work in a big crowd like that.
Yes.
Because there was still still the gentleman's agreement of promoters all around the country. So that's why I'm saying this is when the territories were still a thing. And that's why you're seeing Kerry there.
So, Tony, because the timeline is so close to yours, Vince bought out his dad in 82.
Okay. Right.
And then you come into the business in late 83. I think it's interesting that, Vince had only owned the company for about a year, a little over a year when you join up with Crockett.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And of course when I joined, the territories were still a thing, kind of,
Yeah.
And I'm very happy. I'm very proud to say that I saw a part of that, I mean, that's the bygone era. That's not many people really remember that are still in the business today. So
Pondwater's telling lives in the chat. He's saying rumor was Dusty or Kerry was the plan if Vince didn't get Hogan. Never ever have I heard that it was Kerry. I have pretty consistently heard that it was going to be Dusty, and from a charisma and the style of promo and all that, that's the reason I don't buy that it was Kerry. I do buy Dusty or Hogan, and I've even heard, the other one could be just de facto Sergeant Slaughter or Jimmy Snuka. I mean, those were his other sort of top stars,
right?
But they were holdovers and they had been established. I think Vince wanted something new, Dusty on a mainstream scale, especially knowing the direction they went. Like, tell me it doesn't make sense to imagine Dusty Rhodes teaming with Mr. T to take on Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff. Like, that works every day,
right? Yeah, of course it does, because of entertainment value.
Pondwater saying, well, the body was the only reason it was Kerry. I'm not arguing that he had a great body. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, even like the Ultimate Warrior, because most people compare those physiques, Ultimate Warrior and Kerry Von Erich. But, the Ultimate Warrior, his character was so larger than life. Kerry's was just so understated. It's hard for me to imagine Kerry liking basically Bob Backlund with better muscles.
Yeah. Hey, you had asked me last week, I believe, about some of the unsung heroes.
Yeah. Shouting out some people in AEW.
Yeah. And I was, after we went off the air, I thought, man, I really missed some people that I should give shout outs to.
Well, let's do it now. God damn it.
All right, let's do it now. And this is including the list from last week. Okay. So if I don't say somebody this week, it's because I probably said them last week. Okay.
It's in the archives, whwmonday.com.
Our director, Andrew Thomas. The two ladies who are stage manager, Sophia, and the great Lauren Renee. They've done a great job of taking care of the announcers and making sure that, everything is right. We've got Freddie in audio, Britta in audio. Let's see, Cassie doing video for us. I know Joel in the truck, assistant director in the truck, does a great job for us. And of course, I don't think we could function, to be honest with you. And I've mentioned it before. Well, I know we couldn't function without QT Marshall and Sanjay Dutt, who are just, spectacular what they do. And of course, we got some great agents like Pat Buck and Christopher Daniels and I'm even going to say Kevin Matthews' name here because he is a big, lovable goof that we all give a hard time to, and he takes it so well. Takes it so well. Dustin Rhodes, John Cruz is one of the great coaches we have. We also have Jerry Lynn. We also have the Worm, and we got just some Sarah Stock. We got some great people who work behind the scenes, and I may miss some of them. I've applauded the efforts of R.J. City many, many times because he's such a good writer, and Jen Pepperman's a good writer, and Robert Evans a great writer that work for us and work with Tony. I really enjoy working with each and every one of them. We give each other shit all the time, just like you and I do here in the backstage area. We give each other shit, but it keeps us going. It keeps us happy. We got Clark Wilhoit, one of the great producers that works backstage. And I'll think of somebody else. And I'll think of somebody else here, and I'll throw it out.
I love that we get the real peek behind the curtain about the inspiration. I think it's really cool, sort of the origin stories. I mean, even when you find out that Starrcade was a TV show and Dusty was just ripping it off, like I didn't know that.
Right.
And obviously War Games was a movie. And, it's always been fascinating. Even the Road Warriors look and the name the Midnight Express. It's super, super cool stuff. Hey, I did see something today that's going to piss you off that I don't want to piss you off, but I do want to ask because I disagree. Listen, we like to be positive here. We always celebrate the positive, but there's a negative comment that I disagree with, and I think you'll disagree with, and I do want us to have a real discussion about it. I'm reading a report that, here it is. Adam Copeland would have been better off retiring after WWE exit, says Jim Cornette. He has damaged his reputation. And I just think, man, you know what? Because you hear that in football too, where people are like, oh, Aaron Rodgers should have this. And it's like, guys, these are professional athletes. And Adam Copeland had his career taken away from him prematurely once upon a time. Now that he's back years later and he realizes he has a finite amount of time, I don't know. I kind of think that Adam should say what Adam does. And Adam should get to do exactly what he wants to do. And I think he has a better shot of being able to do what he wants to do in AEW than he does in WWE. In WWE, you're dictated to. My understanding is in AEW, it's much more of a collaborative effort. So if anything, I don't know Adam all that well. I mean, we've met a couple of times, but if anything, he's probably more likely to be doing exactly what he wants to do now. Don't you agree, Tony?
Yeah, and you have to look. If you look at that about legacy, about what it is, his legacy in the WWE is never going to be destroyed.
No.
Listen, Edge and Christian, one of the great tag teams of all time, and regardless of what he does here, it's going to be. And not only that, he's making a great living at north of 50 years old.
Yes.
Right. But I get what Jim is saying. Jim likes to be controversial, and he does a great job at it. He has said some things I haven't agreed with, but I know I do some things on the air that he doesn't agree with. But
that's right.
But Jim's always been a good buddy, and
here's the thing. Like, even because I know in our chat right now, there's a lot of people who are sort of anti-Jim or Jim haters. Jim is one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in real life.
Yes, he is.
Sometimes he can be very animated as an entertainer, as a performer, and he can get worked up and animated in his opinions. But at the same time, I know he doesn't do it anymore, but when he was more active on the meet and greet circle, nobody ever had a bad experience meeting Jim Cornette.
Right. Yeah. When I did that one commentary for the NWA.
Yeah. Oh yeah. In Nashville,
he and I worked together at a signing autographs, right? Over in the other place. And he was so nice to every fan. Okay. Yes. He was such a gentleman to every fan and so friendly to him that I remember thinking, that's the way you should be. That's the way you should be, the fans. And he knew it. And I had a lot of fun with Jim back in the day. A lot of fun with Jim. And he's a legendary figure. And not only that, I sent him a text when I saw the movie Queen of the Ring.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, Jimmy did a great job. You did a great job. And I thought he did as the NWA president.
Yeah, he was Sam Mushnick.
Yeah. How about that? So,
yeah.
So anyway, going back to the Adam Copeland talk, Adam Copeland is right now, I would say, living the dream.
He's got to be.
Yes.
I mean, he's making I mean, I don't know what he's doing, but I would guess he's making as much or more than ever, working fewer dates than ever, and having the type of matches he wants. Like, we all know the structure in WWE where, you know, you're handed a script and you get 15 different revisions. I don't think that creative process is the exact same in AEW. I think it's probably more of a collaborative effort in AEW. I don't know. I'm just guessing. And so I feel like he probably has a little more say about his career right now than if he was anywhere else. So if you're making more money or about the same money for perhaps even less dates and an easier schedule, and you're more creatively fulfilled, dude,
yeah,
what else could you ask for? It's like the Holy Trinity.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we're all on the same page, and I know that we're all on the same page about March Madness and baseball season coming up, and we've got an exciting way to make it even more fun.
Springtime is here and baseball season is officially underway. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your Prize Picks lineup. Whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, or first inning runs, take your pick of more or less for your shot to win up to 1,000x your cash today. Prize Picks truly is the best way to get action on in sports in more than 30 states. We're talking California, Texas, and yes, even Georgia. The app is super easy to use. All you have to do to create a lineup is pick more or less on a few different player stats, and then you've got your shot to win up to 1,000x your money. And by the way, over 10 million users have already signed up and are having fun. I'm friends with a lot of them. It feels like everywhere I go, I keep hearing about Prize Picks. And one of those reasons is because Prize Picks allows you to mix and match player projections from different sports. So you can combine your favorite baseball players with players from basketball, hockey, even esports, and so much more. But they've also invented the flex play at Prize Picks, which means you can still cash out even if your lineup isn't perfect. That's right. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Prize Picks truly does put their members first, so all their withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. And when my picks hit, I can get paid in as little as 15 minutes. Prize Picks now offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this season. So what are you waiting for? Go sign up today and you'll get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Now, you don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And it's super simple, especially this baseball season. I want to remind you the second half of basketball season is here too, and there's a push for the playoffs, and it's all heating up on Prize Picks, the very best place to cash in on your favorite sports. It could be easy. Like you could say, hey, I think Ohtani's going to get more than one home run this week. Well, will Juan Soto get more than one hit? Yeah, it really is that easy. And I can't wait for baseball season to get started. I mean, let's just be honest. I know Tony loves baseball, but I like to have a little action on baseball. It makes it a little more fun. So download the app today. Use the code WHW. You'll get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. One more time. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use our code WHW, and you'll get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
So we were watching a pretty badass match. This is Bruno Sammartino getting a hero's welcome, being walked to the ring following Arnie Scollin. A very young, dapper, long-haired Larry Zbyszko's in the ring. And there's Howard Finkel, comb over Jones right there. Man, look at those flash bulbs. Look at the crowd going banana for Bruno here.
Is this after the angle?
This is in the middle of it. So
Okay.
They started their feud, or their first match was in January of 88. 80. We're in February of 80, and they're going to go through like Thanksgiving. But I think it's August when they do the big cage match at Shea Stadium. So the turn's already happened here.
Okay. All right.
and we're going to go from January to November with the angle, and it peaks in August. So here we are in March.
Look at that. Look at the hair on Bruno, brother. That is.
Dude, he looks like one of those chia pets.
Yes. And
Dude, I'm telling you,
oh.
Can you just put a bug in Tony's ear? We got to get one of these drop down gimmicks for Justin Roberts one good time.
Yeah, on one of the main events, you know, on a big pay-per-view or something like that.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. It would look so awesome.
Yeah. Zbyszko rocking a mullet.
Hey, I'm colorblind, but Chris North wants to know, was Larry's natural hair color red? Maybe it's just my TV. Did he used to have lighter color hair? Is that red? I'm colorblind.
No, that's a light brown. That's what Larry was.
I got you.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a pretty fun match here. Of course, we know this is going to eventually lead to the showdown in Shea Stadium. So
yeah, which was one of their biggest gates of all time.
Yes.
Yeah. Here we go, man. Little old school font. Zbyszko versus San Martino. God, Bruno looked great, didn't he? Holy smokes.
Dude, he looks like
I mean, he's got a little bit of a midsection on him. And then but you know, I mean, he's been wrestling for decades now. So
it looks like he could have been in like a Ben-Hur type movie or something.
Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly.
He has that throwback physique.
Or he could have been a hitman in The Sopranos or something like that.
Well, maybe Godfather 1. You know what I mean?
Yes, right.
Look what they did to my boy.
Yeah, Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes type thing.
Yes, he does. Chop the gun, take the cannoli.
Mm. Oh, brother. This is great shit, man, because I mean, I go back and I think even Dave McClay had asked, let's see if we can put Dave's question up. And I'll answer it about, there you go. Where does Larry turning on Bruno rank on all-time heel turns? I think the way it was done makes it one of the better ones. Because if you go back and you watch the heel turn, how it worked and how they did it, it was so well done. And, you know, Bruno, if you go back and watch that, and we've had it here on one of the shows, I think it was a show that you missed and I was doing with Casio. If you go back, you know, Bruno did not want to pin him and he just kept pulling off because he respected Larry. And as a shoot, Larry, you know, approached Bruno to become a pro wrestler. And then Larry turned on him and Bruno bled profusely on TV, which you didn't see blood on TV at that time, at least not on a regular basis. It made that such an incredible angle that it has to be considered one of the best heel turns of all time, especially, I think, in the WWE.
It's one that predates my fandom, but I've always heard great things about it. And, you know, for people to still be talking about it 45 years later, it clearly left a strong impression.
Yep. Yep. It's the young guy who wanted to wrestle Bruno on TV, and Bruno was, okay, I'll do it. But then every time Bruno had advantage, he would pull off on him like he just couldn't. This kid that he trained, he just could not lower the boom on him. And then Larry got pissed off and lowered the boom on Bruno and opened him up. And it was a shocking thing. And, you know, just crazy.
Hey, speaking of crazy, I don't know if you've seen the innovations in sex toys.
You know what, Conrad? I have not, you dumbass, but go ahead.
Well, that was rude.
Why would I have seen the innovation in sex toys? What are you trying to paint me as a pervert?
Well, buddy, how did I see it and you didn't see it? It was all over social media. Oh, that's right. You're not on social media.
I'm not on social media at all. I even dropped 6 months ago, I even dropped Instagram from my phone.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think you could, if absolutely necessary, shine this sumbitch up sideways, or shine this sumbitch up, turn it sideways, and stick it straight up your candy ass? This might actually be the one time I don't want to smell what the Rock was cooking.
That is the Rock.
Yeah, that's the Rock on the end of a butt plug. It is a Rock butt plug, and I guess I just wanted to know what size I should get for you and Miss Lois, because I know y'all like to keep things fresh.
Let me ask you something. I did understand the other day. I heard this on Sirius XM that The Rock is the highest paid actor in Hollywood.
Last year, he made $88 million.
Right. So, is this something that is approved by him, or is this an outlaw feature?
This is a sort of a backdoor deal. I don't think it's officially licensed. I don't think they're signed and numbered.
Oh God, Jesus. Well, if I'm The Rock, I'm going after these people.
Well, hang on now. Hang on. Did you think that was actually a product that was for sale? Some super fan made that.
Yeah.
They chiseled it out by hand.
As you do.
As you do. What are Can you believe we're getting paid for this? What are we doing?
We're watching
We're watching Bruno Sammartino wrestle Larry Zbyszko in Madison Square Garden with Arnold Skolin at ringside from 45 years ago. Oh, and you, with your perverted ass, bring up a Rock butt plug and try to tell everybody that it was hand chiseled.
Oh man. Look at notice the guys standing in the entryway.
Yes, what's up with that?
I don't know. It's like
I mean, that's the athletic commissioner, right?
I don't know if it is or not. It looks like it kind of look. It probably is the athletic commissioner. Look for a minute to be like a bunch of ushers, but I guess that's the athletic commissioner because they want to be seen on TV. Hey.
Bad Money Slim says when they're using it, you can definitely hear the wind whistle with one eyebrow up. Isaac Kristen says, one of my neighbors found a butt plug in the walking park at the end of my street and posted about it on the neighborhood Facebook page. Not one person commented or told her. She's the last boomer out there, and we love her for it. Have you ever you've told us before that you stumbled across parking lot panties.
Right.
Have you ever seen something like that just laying around? Like
no.
It feels like that would just, like, I know my buddy Dre down at the Boot, he's got a collection of, what are those things called? Hey, Silva, use your audio and tell us those things that you put your wiener in that look like a flashlight. You've got them in all the colors and shapes. What are those things called?
You can use your video too, Dave, if you want.
Oh, one of those flashlights.
Oh, that's right. Tony, are you in the loop on this?
No.
So it's shaped like a flashlight, like one of those big, heavy, like policeman flashlights.
Right.
But you screw off the tip, and instead of it being, a big bulb for a flashlight, it's shaped like a lady's lower anatomy. You know what I mean? And then what a guy like Dave would do is he would run that against his human body until it made a mess.
Isn't this show supposed to be about pro wrestling?
They're doing a bear hug right now. You just want to do commentary on that?
No.
Because I was thinking, if I could talk about this bear hug, or I could talk about my buddy Dre fucking himself, I don't have to think very long to figure out what's more entertaining.
What in the hell goes on down at the Boot in Huntsville anyway?
My question to him was, how do you wash that? Do you put it on the top rack of the dishwasher next to your baby sippy cup, or what are you doing? Like, how do you have to run your finger around in it? And then there was a guy at the bar who said, man, back in my day, we used to put our weed down at the bottom of the pocket, pussy. And I said, wait, what did you say? Ain't no cop putting his finger in there, man. I never got caught. And I'm like, you know what? He's crazy like a fox.
Yikes.
Bad Money Slim says it's essentially you fuck a flashlight that don't work. I think we got that, bud, but I really appreciate you.
Yeah.
laying it
And
down.
Isaac Riston said, I heard they're pretty legit.
Pondwater Dave says we used to find stuff like this in the showers when I managed the Loves.
Oh, God.
We got to hey, send Pondwater a link so he can come on camera, Dave, because
yeah, we got to get him on.
If Pondwater can come on here and A, tell us a tuna can story or something in that vein, but B, if he actually ever did run across one of these at a gas station, at a truck stop,
yeah,
good Lord, that'd be something else.
How come I've never heard of these?
What do you mean? A pocket pussy?
No, a fleshlight or whatever it is.
Oh, well, I don't know, but I can get you one.
No, I just wonder. Hey, meanwhile, Bruno Sammartino's out of the ring.
Here's what's great, Tony. You can get them shaped like your favorite porn star. So Whitney Wright may have one. And you could pick, do you want the upstairs? You want the downstairs? You want round back?
Jesus Christ. That's enough.
That's well, enough. You expressed interest.
No, I just ask. How come I've never heard of these? And everybody here with us said, "Oh yeah, it's true." I guess this is our core audience, right?
Our core audience wants to talk about butt plugs and Bruno Sammartino.
Okay,
it's Dusty Rhodes knowing our audience. Even more specifically, it's Arn Anderson and sex toys.
Okay.
Arn Anderson is beloved on this show. I don't know if you knew that.
Well, he's beloved most everywhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of beloved, let's be serious here for a minute. I know this isn't what we want to do, but George Foreman passed away.
Yeah, man. How about that?
And you got to meet him in WCW, right?
Yes, I did.
How was George? Because I always was fascinated by his story, and as silly as it was, the day his movie came out, I made Megan go with me. I was like, hey, I love this guy's story. We got to go. And I thought the movie was fantastic. You know, it's not the best movie I ever saw or anything, but I just loved the subject matter.
Right.
And so even if it wasn't just an A+ movie, I would have still loved it because it was an A+ story. And I felt like he was an A+ human being.
Mm-hmm.
You got to meet him in real life. How was he?
Yeah, he was cool. I mean, he was very jovial, very nice, very friendly. And he was the kind of guy that you saw on TV, right? Outside of the ring. So yeah, meeting George Foreman, meeting Muhammad Ali, like I did. I've had meeting Mike Tyson, and meeting obviously many, many other celebrities like Jay Leno, and is Ron Funches. Is one of the really cool parts of my job, and that was really a shame. What was he, 76? He passed away at age 74.
Yeah, believe it or not, he's the same age as Ric Flair.
Yeah, I told Lois we ought to cook a Boca burger on our George Foreman grill because I got one. I've had one for quite a while.
You know what's crazy is I saw people talking the other day, and it was a text message exchange that they were sharing back and forth, where one guy texted another, hey, George Foreman died, and I guess it's his roommate. And the recipient said, have you tried unplugging it and plugging it back in? And James Elkerai, who's with us here live, says he was at a bar the other night when everyone found out that George Foreman died. And these young people were saying, the grill guy?
Right.
Like they had no idea he was a boxer. And I think it's interesting and kind of cool that my man has now become synonymous with a household appliance.
Well, he made more money on that household appliance than he did in boxing.
He made more money on that household appliance than most people do in 100 lifetimes.
Right. Right. Well, the George Foreman grill was really cool, man.
Oh, it was. Yes. I mean, think about in the era of infomercials too, That's arguably one of the most successful infomercials of all time, I would say.
Right. Yeah, I think so.
Isaac Christian says, could we do a Price is Right style guessing game where we show Tony various sex toys and he guesses the price? That's actually pretty good. We should get Efren to put that together.
No, I think we ought to pass. And meanwhile, Larry Zbyszko is just hammering Bruno, getting a lot of heat from the fans of Madison Square Garden.
Hey, Tony, if we were to like take a collection of used sex toys, do you think they'd smell?
And Bruno reaches back and just choke. Now, oh, Larry's tied up in the ropes, guys.
Well, hang on. I was just asking because I think your nuts may smell. And if you've got stinky nuts, I know exactly what to do.
How's that?
Hey, real quick, pop quiz, hot shot. Do your balls stink? Well, you need Mando. Mando's whole body deodorant that you can use anywhere on your body. Yes, even down yonder. You can use it in your armpits, your belly button, your thigh folds, your butt cracks, your feet, your balls, your butthole, whatever you're looking for. You see, this was all created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was just misdiagnosed and mistreated. Instead, what we want is one of these Mando solid stick deodorants that's formulated and powered by mandelic acid to stop odor before it even starts. Or maybe you got those little baby T-Rex arms like Dave Silva. I recommend the spray deodorant. It's aluminum free and ideal for those hard to reach places. Either way, Mando has been clinically proven to control odor better than just a shower with soap alone. And really, dude, it'll block odor all day long and control odor for up to 72 hours. So if you've got a long day or a long night, listen, you need some Mando. I don't know what makes them do the things they like to do, but I know what makes nobody want to do anything. Stanky nuts. All the products are baking soda free. They're paraben free. And if you're ready to try America's #1 whole body deodorant formula right now, well, you're in good hands because you can find Mando in Walmart, Target, and in other retailers across the country. But for the best deals and to really help our show, go to shopmando.com. That's where you'll see that Mando starter pack is perfect for new customers. You'll get the solid stick deodorant, the cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice, like the mini body wash and deodorant wipes. You can even get free shipping. And as a special offer for our listeners, new customers can get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That's like 40% off your starter pack when you use the code WHW at shopmando.com. Let me spell it for you. That's shopmando.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. You'll smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando.
We're seeing some pretty good angle here.
Yeah, man, we're keeping this story going. Of course, Bruno has been disqualified. He loses. Larry wins. We keep the story going. Of course, the turn is 2 months deep. Their feud, I guess. But it's still like 7 months away, 8 months away from being complete. I mean, do you miss? I guess they still do it every now and again, but it used to be much more common to have like a 9, 10, 11 year-long feud, right?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And what's great about this is Bruno just really dropped out of character and went crazy and choked Zbyszko and wouldn't stop. And Honor Skolin had to go in and the referee had to come in and Zbyszko left and Bruno's still pissed off as he walks away. Good stuff, man. You know, I like about
this point, that was their 4th match, I think.
Yeah. I like the fact that that's old school, but the arena is dark. The Samoan #1 against Dominic DeNucci, huh? It's the all-Italian.
DeNucci, of course, is the trainer of Mick Foley.
How about that?
And Shane Douglas.
Okay, and this is Alpha, Sika, one of the ones, right? This one of the original.
Yeah, this is Alpha. This is Alpha.
It was #1? Okay.
We've also got, coming up next, the world title on the line, which will be Bob Backlund defending against Sika, which is Samoan #2.
Hello, Pondwater.
Hi, Tony. How are you? Conrad?
Oh, shit.
How's everybody?
Hey,
man, we're excited you're here. How are you, bud?
Doing good.
So you were telling us in the comments that you have ran across some interesting things at Love's. What have you run across there?
Anal beads.
Oh, God.
Double dong dildo.
Double dong dildo? Okay.
One of the big old long ones.
No.
Yeah, wait a minute.
As opposed to the short ones.
Okay. Dave, is this you found in the bathroom on the floor, or they have them in the shelf to sell?
Or they
No,
are they
no.
down by the pumps?
No,
Yeah.
it's like they used them while they were in the shower and left them there when we had to clean the showers up after the truck drivers leave. They were actually using the showers, and they took their toys to the shower with them.
So, Dave, what did you think about Larry Zbyszko against Bruno Sammartino?
One of the best heel turns ever.
Yes, I agree. Absolutely. Comrade,
Do you think
you want to bring the conversation back down?
when Bruno was disqualified, I was doing an ad read. Was it because he was using a double dong, or was it a different foreign object?
I believe he was inserting the beads.
Oh, wow. Okay. This is a different era for sure. Of course, these days, Orange Cassidy would just no sell it.
Well, that bear hug, he had plenty of time.
Hey, so we played your hit song, Number One with a Bullet, a few weeks ago, where you revealed that you were 9.
11, sir.
Yeah, get it right, man.
Oh, sorry.
You know, Tony, that there was nothing in that story that was embellished.
I believe every word of your story.
I don't know if you're aware. I grew up in a grocery store.
What?
I grew up in a grocery store in a very, very bad part of Dallas.
Okay, so you're okay. Hang on a second.
That's right. I'm loving you for this, Tony. Thank you.
Okay. Your bedroom is in the back of the grocery store, and okay.
Well, I mean, I probably spent more time at the grocery store than I did at the house.
Okay, so your house was not the grocery store.
No.
I grew up in a grocery store. Okay, got it.
But for Dad to take me to work with him at 7 o'clock in the morning and we get home 10 or 11 o'clock at night, it was not uncommon.
Yeah, well, I worked at a grocery store for a long, long time back in the 70s.
Me too.
Now,
I bet.
Tony, did you ever? Were there showers at the grocery store?
No, there was not.
That's good.
Yeah.
No, there wouldn't nobody tell them what we would have found in those showers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but this grocery store, this is where you created the tuna can slam. I think that's what James Hillcrow is calling it, the tuna can slam.
Yes, it was the only thing I could reach. I got attacked by a crackhead.
Uh-huh.
She was panhandling at our meat counter, and all I did is walk around, and you have to try to keep the riffraff to a minimum, because if people don't want to shop with you, if they have to do that hassle. So I just walked around and I said, "Baby, you got to go." And when I did, she turned into the Hulk. And
the moral of that story is never panhandle at the meat counter.
Well,
have some goddamn respect, bitch. Don't be panhandling.
It's like, hey, baby, you got to go. And normally they just say
spiral cut shit in here, and you're in here panhandling.
Oh,
you bitch!
But
she beat you with a tuna can. Is that
no?
Okay,
she started coming at me, and I just started backing up towards the door because I'm just going to get her outside.
Yeah,
but I ran into the shopping carts going backwards, and when I did, she got her hand up here and she scratched my face.
Oh, went for the claw.
So I threw her in a headlock, and I'm going to drag her out the front door.
Yeah.
Well, so she grabbed onto me and she bit me.
Oh God!
She bit me right there,
uh-huh.
and I mean, I started pounding her head, trying to get her off of me. The butchers ran around, and she won't let go. And I mean, Tony, she had so much skin in her mouth through my shirt.
Oh God!
That it ripped the skin popped open.
Oh God! It was kind of like John Moxley in the Spike.
Yeah. and I was just reaching for anything I could find, trying to get this woman off of me.
All right. And
I grabbed a can of tuna fish.
Yes.
And I just started doing like this.
Okay.
Like Al Madrill used to do with the Madrillization.
Okay.
And I was beating her in the head so hard with this tuna can that when I finally let it go, I had a ring around my hand, and the bottom of the can was kind of curved to her head.
Now, had the police come by as of yet, or the butcher was still there?
No, it was 3 grown men trying to get her off of me. And when the police got here, she went after the police as well.
Oh my God! Did you get a tetanus shot?
I did.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I was extremely concerned. I mean,
I bet you were.
Down, I was wearing a white shirt, And when I looked down, it was just all red.
Jesus.
It was pretty scary, but
Well, needless to
Think
say,
about this. You know, at the time, Pondwater was a big fan of the Von Erich, so he grabbed a headlock. But if this were to happen in modern times, and some kid working in a grocery store who grew up watching AEW got attacked by a crackhead, rather than grabbing a headlock, he may go for like a Meltzer driver.
Oh yeah, or a Huracan
off the
Rana.
meat counter. Oh God, can you imagine?
Yeah, but could you imagine if I would have put her head between my legs and just set her up for a Canadian destroyer where she would have bit?
Oh, dude, if you could have hit a Canadian destroyer on that crackhead. Actually, I kind of want to see that more than anything else now. Canadian crackhead destroyers.
Well, Dave, that story is much better than what we're watching now. The Samoan #1 and Dominic DeNucci.
Yeah, it's not good. And I mean, we've got another after this. It's the excitement and thrill of Bob Backlund still to come. Coach Keith is with us. Appreciate him joining us and coming to hang out. Pondwater, you've got another fabulous story about getting shot in the head. Would you like to share that with everyone?
I did get shot in the head. I thought we were going to go with the Vienna sausages.
We'll get to that one, but right now, let's tell everybody about the time you got shot in the fucking head.
I was closing up the store one night and got ambushed by 3 guys. I was pushed to the back of a car with a gun to the back of my head, and never for a minute did I ever think that he was going to pull the trigger. I didn't feel good that night. I was kind of annoyed by the whole thing and just wanted it to be over with. And there was a woman with me, and the other 2 guys went and took her purse.
Okay.
And as they cleared me, he shot me. He had the gun pressed right here to the back of my head. And the bullet went right through, shattered my jaw, and came out under my eye. This whole side of my face is reconstructed. I've got a little piece of gold in my eyelid so I can blink. It's kind of a weight because of the nerve damage. Wow. So how I've not got the nickname Golden Eye is amazing.
That's that is a serious thing. Now, how old were you there, Dave?
11.
27.
27.
No, 27.
Do you ever think about moving to another part of the country?
I did. I got tired of getting my ass kicked.
Yeah.
I mean, the last time something happened in that store, I fought a guy over a 12-pack of Coors Light. And when the police got there, I'm bleeding, the guy's bleeding, and they asked him what his name was. He said something like James Smith. And they were going to write him a ticket without checking his ID or anything. And I'm sitting there bleeding, and then
write him a ticket.
And you know, you're not even running his ID with this generic name. And I just had enough.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I wasn't going to die on that corner.
I don't blame you.
It wasn't getting any better. I mean,
well, I'm glad you didn't, because I'm glad you're here and giving us great stories that you had.
Well, I appreciate it. And that's where the whole Super Dave nickname came from, because I had a little Superman tattoo on my arm, and the doctors at Baylor Hospital, after they said, they started calling me Super Dave. Because they had to give me 14 units of blood and platelets. And they told me at the end of the week, when I came out of my coma, that there was not a medical reason that I survived.
Wow. And I'm sitting here thinking dealing with Lois is tough. She is nothing like that.
Yeah. John Hamilton wants to know, can we see the scar? Do you have a crackhead scar, Pondwater? I've never seen that. I've seen your wiener, but I've never seen that.
Oh, for crying out loud.
No, you can't see it anymore.
Good. All right.
Okay. All right. Now, Pondwater, you thought I was going to ask you another story. What was that story about? I forget.
Sausage.
And on 8/8 of 88, because I had to fill out the insurance forms by hand, and they asked the date so many times. That's why I remember it. We had a 16-year-old kid working the cash register, and some guy asked her for a pack of cigarettes, and she gave him 100s instead of shorts. And he said, "I don't want these," and he threw them and hit her right between the eyes with them. And when he did, I came over the counter swinging, and he had some Vienna sausages in a bag, and as everybody was breaking us up, he swung it and got me in the eye, and I had a deviated septum. And
Jesus Christ,
when hobo food attacks.
God.
He had a rough incident with spam in '82.
Kinda.
Oh,
I chased a
God.
guy. I chased a guy about 3 blocks because he stole a can of spam.
Mm.
And when I caught him, and he dropped it, and I picked it up, and it wasn't even name brand spam. It was like Price Saver luncheon loaf.
Jeez.
And I just looked at it and said, "You got me out here running for generic pop."
Just so I understand, Pondwater, is it fair to say you're like the Spike Dudley of the grocery store world?
That'd be fair.
You're like the Darby Allen of grocery stores.
Well, we always had a rule that one jumped, we all jumped. So when you had the 3 butchers that we had backing you up, it made you better than you actually were. Now, after I got shot, that took a lot of the fight out of me.
As it would, yeah.
I mean, it cost a lot of money to put this face back together.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're
I get
all
a
right.
refund.
I'm glad you're all right.
Tell everybody how they can hear your podcast and what it's about and all that jazz.
It's Talking Wrestling with Pondwater and Amy. We mainly focus on independent wrestling. This week, our guest is going to be Mackenzie Morgan, who appeared at Top Guy Rumble. I've worked with her in Mississippi. But what me and Amy do is she brings trivia. We do some silliness, but we like to focus on independent wrestling more than anything. And you can get us over at pwdpod.com. That'll take you to our YouTube page. Like and subscribe. It would help us out greatly.
Okay.
We're trying to grow it over there, and we're trying to, just add some positive to independent wrestling. This last week, we had AEW belt maker Ron Edwardson on, and it did really well. I'm surprised at how fascinated people were with wrestling belts.
Well, I'm glad to hear of someone that does a wrestling podcast talk about wrestling.
Yes.
Yeah, because we've been talking nothing about tuna cans and butt plugs and
what are you talking about?
And everything here instead of wrestling. And we got Bob Backlund right now.
Well, that sounds exciting. Let's get to it. Pondwater, thanks for jumping on. You were a good
Dave.
sport, and I hope your butthole gets better.
Love you guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right,
it's always good to see y'all.
Good to see you,
good
bud.
to see you, Dave.
Take care.
All right. He's the man, buddy.
It was right over there in that very corner when he woke up and realized what had happened.
So this Bob Backlund here is managed by Arnold Skolnick. He's the WWF champion.
That's correct.
Yeah. And
he's going to hold it till he drops it to Sheik,
Right. So we got another hour in the show. Is this like the match before the intermission, or do you think maybe Bruno's was? Because they always had a main event type match before intermission.
I think Bruno's was because he was match 4.
Okay.
After that, you had Danucci and Alpha, and then Backlund and Sika, and then Bobby Duncombe and Ken Patera taking on Pat Patterson and Andre the Giant.
Oh, wow.
Baron Michaels Scaluna screwed that up, and Renee Goulet. And then in the main event is Tito Santana versus a heel Hulk Hogan.
Wow.
I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing heel Hulk Hogan. I can't lie.
Me too. This is just not too far before he becomes the Incredible Hulk Hogan and change his name. And you know what? Bob Backlund, for as vanilla and as boring as he was, he looked the part. Didn't he? Looked good here.
Well, you say that, but James Elkra says Bob Backlund is intermission.
Okay.
You don't think that's funny? Hey, who's intermission in AEW? Who do you know when they get between the ropes? It's time to get the popcorn. Who's terrible?
Oh, I'm not going to say that. Fuck. Jesus Christ.
Well, I was just saying last week I said, let's give some people some flowers.
Oh, yes. Here's another one I'm going to give flowers to. I said Clark Wilhoit.
Yep.
I'm going to give flowers to Mike Verga, to our audio guys like George and Dennis. Dennis's only problem is he wears a Boston Red Sox hat all the time. We got a great crew. And one thing I've always thought about with AEW is that every wrestler I think we've talked about this before, but every wrestler should come to the building early and watch them set up the lights, the staging, the backstage area, and the ring It's an unbelievable undertaking. You've seen that, Conrad.
Oh yeah.
It's unbelievable. And the same, I'm sure, for the WWE, the effort that is put into a 2-hour show. And of course, some Ring of Honor afterwards sometimes, and sometimes we do double tapings. But it's unbelievable the effort that's put into it. It really takes an organization like unbelievable. So, and you know what? I've been watching this as you've been talking sexual bullshit.
What?
Yeah, I've been watching this, and I'm thinking that of all the things that we have seen throughout the night in this, it just goes to show you how, in the 45 years, how pro wrestling has changed.
It's not even the same.
No, it's not. It's not this. No, not at all. It's like, I mean, we're seeing a lot of arm drags, a lot of twists, a lot of hammer locks going down on the mat. Just and fans bought into this stuff.
No doubt.
Today, fans would boo this shit out of the arena. Just amazing. So, do you think it's for the better?
I like wrestling better now, for sure.
Yeah, I like wrestling better now as well, but I still don't mind, the old school stuff.
No, listen, I mean, I think, I'm more excited to see new movies when they're released. Like earlier tonight, my wife and I went looking for a new movie. I didn't see anything that jumped out. So we watched Breakfast Club, which I think came out 45 or 40 years ago today.
40 years ago, 85.
40 years ago today. So we watched that. I mean, we've both seen that movie 100 times, but I think, we're sort of nostalgic for wrestling sometimes the same way we are those movies or television shows or music. Right. So
yeah,
I think the nostalgia survives in all of us.
Yeah, I agree. That's a great point. I love 80s music. I love the 80s movies. I love John Hughes movies from back then. Of course, that was one of the Breakfast Club was one of his bigger ones. And Pretty in Pink was another one. And 16 Candles, all great stuff. But I just, and I told Lois this. I said, I miss the 80s. And I really do. I really, really miss the 80s. And her retort is, I don't. I was pregnant during the entire 80s. I don't give a shit about it. And she was.
Well, I mean, it's not like I snuck up on her.
Exactly. Exactly. She could do what she could do what she's doing. She could have done what she's doing now and put a roadblock sign up.
Oh, I was going to say, just hold still and let you finish. I think she figured that out, though.
Yeah. But see, Backlund just cranking on the arm. It's just, and I mean, we're 6-7 minutes into the match, and they're still on the mat. Just amazing.
It's a totally different. I mean, it's unrecognizable from back then to now,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, do you think a wrestler and I don't mean this ugly, but is there a wrestler, could a Bob Backlund type make it today is what I'm trying to say.
No. He would have to be able to do a good promo, and Bob never did do a good promo.
I'm not even saying this to dunk on a brand. I'm just saying the style, if this was like the Ring of Honor Pure title, that's what you're really looking for. You're looking for a Bob Backlund type athlete.
Yeah.
And, just the absolute mechanics of like a Regal or a Danielson or whatever. But I mean, look as he's doing these sit-ups right now. This looks believable, almost like a UFC style circumstance.
Yeah, you're right. It's really different now. Bob just taking his time, looking around. Hey, so Jim in Buffalo says he's been binging John Hughes movies over the past 4 days, all classics. He had knee surgery. Hope you're doing well, Jim. And if you can remember, list some of the movies that you were watching. Love to. Maybe there's some I'd like to see again or I've missed. It was a great time, man.
Yeah, I watched Home Alone this Christmas. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting to think, how nostalgic we get about movies? I mean, hell, we even get that way about food, like our friends over at Magic Spoon.
Man, isn't Tony Schiavone looking better? If you remember when he first started doing this podcast to now, he looks like a different dude. And one of his secret ingredients this entire time, Magic Spoon. You've heard us bragging about Magic Spoon for years. It tastes just like the cereals we all grew up on, but without all the sugar and instead with a ton of protein. But I'm proud to announce that right now they just launched a brand new high-protein granola. And true to the Magic Spoon promise, it's packed with protein and oh so crunchy. Speaking of the treats, I hadn't bragged on them in a while. I want to remind you, it is an easy way to get 12 grams of protein on the go, and it tastes just like the ones Mom used to make. They've got great flavors like marshmallow, you know the one. It's crispy, it's crunchy, it's airy. But I really like the double chocolate. I'd double dog dare you to try that one. They've also got chocolate peanut butter. That's a favorite in the Jarrett household, and dark chocolate. But how about these brand new granola? That's packing in 13 grams of protein and 0 added sugars, all thanks to Magic Spoon. You can also count on Magic Spoon to bring the taste with flavors like dark chocolate almond, honey almond, and even peanut butter. So what are you waiting for? Get $5 off your next order at magicspoon.com/WHW or look for Magic Spoon on Amazon or in your nearest grocery store. That's magicspoon.com/WHW for $5 off.
Bob Backlund and Alpha. What's your favorite Bob Backlund match, Tony?
It had to be the one with the Iron Sheik, where the Iron Sheik had him submit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And Arnold Skolin threw in the towel, right?
When were you at your peak WWF fandom? Because I feel like it pretty much predates Vince Jr. taking over, right?
Yeah, of course it does. I was, I loved pro wrestling back in the 70s. And I watched Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling because that's what I got. And I was in the Crockett territory of households. But I followed the WWF and followed the AEW. I followed as much as I could because I would get the after magazines, as we called them. So I really enjoyed that. We had a drugstore in Craigsville, and they had a magazine rack, and they sold all those magazines. Inside Wrestling, The Wrestler, Pro Wrestling Illustrated came out, and I subscribed to them as well. So my fandom was back in the 70s, and that's why, and I've mentioned this before, when I would watch Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, and they would mention, Bob Cottle would just mention it in passing, or David would mention it in passing, coming soon to Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, Baron Von Raschke, and I would go, fuck. I used to see about him in the AWA and all these magazines. Or Dick Slater is coming to Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. Oh, man, I used to see him at Championship Wrestling in Florida and all the magazines. It was just a line, and it made it special, And now we hype up what's coming next week with graphics and, matches and everything. And it's just... The way they approached TV back then is much different than it is now. And that the way they approached TV back then was it was an infomercial to get you come to the arenas. Very rarely did they give a main event on TV. They did a couple of times. I saw Ricky Steamboat defeat Ric Flair for the Mid-Atlantic Television Championship and made Ricky a star. I saw Dino Bravo and Mr. Wrestling defeat the Anderson brothers for the World Tag Team Championship. That was very rare, though, that they would do that. But they would just do things to get you to come to the arenas. Now the TV show is getting you to come back to the TV show next week, an episodic TV type thing. So wrestling changed. The approach to wrestling changed from all the years in those 40 plus years, the approach to wrestling. It's no longer an arena business. It's a TV business, just like everything else. I mean, look, college football is a TV show now. Am I wrong?
No.
Yeah.
You're not wrong at all.
Yeah. TV has changed the landscape of every form of entertainment. Some for the best, some not so good. So what we're seeing today, to compare it to what we've seen now 45 years ago, is a very difficult thing to do. You got to take a little bit of each, I think. So, oh, by the way, Jim in Buffalo said Home Alone, 16 Candles, Pretty in Pink, Breakfast Club, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I watch that every Thanksgiving morning.
I do too. Same.
Yeah,
I'll put the turkey on and I'll watch that movie.
That's the best. And Weird Science. Yeah, that was some good stuff. Good things.
Weird Science was crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was nutty. And I guess Ferris Bueller's Day Off's another one.
Oh, fantastic. 10 out of 10.
Yes. Yeah. Just back in the mode of the 80s. And I was, I'd made the transition just out of college, doing baseball, doing pro wrestling that I love so much. And not only doing pro wrestling that I love so much, but doing pro wrestling that from the territory I watched, and that was very special to me to be able to do that. I can remember as I'm thinking like 1979, during 1979, and I'm in college. I'm going to graduate in May of 1980, and I'm thinking, wow, I need to make a decision of what I want to do. I'm working for this radio station. I know I want to be an announcer. I know I want to be a baseball announcer. There's no really major league teams around here. There's a minor league team in Richmond, the Richmond Braves. And oddly enough, when they moved to Gwinnett, I became their play-by-play guy. And then I remember thinking, do I really, it sounds stupid, but it was the senior in college thinking this, do I really want to leave and not be able to watch Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling again? I really want to move to another part of the country and not see Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat and the Andersons and Blackjack. I really gave that some thought, and that's how much I loved it. And that's why the 80s are special to me, because I went from just being a college kid to a baseball announcer to doing fucking wrestling. Jesus Christ. April 6th, 1985, dude. So I'm very fortunate.
We're getting some questions about, and he says, not trying to be funny, but what type of hair dye does Tony use? Okay. I guess he's thinking about dyeing his hair.
Okay. Riston, I do not use hair dye. I do use dye on my beard, and that's all. I've not dyed this hair as of yet. I do have some gray streaks in the back here. I think it's because of genetics. My mother died at age 74 back in 1990 without a gray hair in her head.
Now, when you think about grays, do you think you got your first one on your hair, on your like on your head, on your beard, or on your peaches?
I think I got it on my beard.
I got my first.
Your microphone dropped. Your microphone dropped.
I got my first gray hair on my peaches.
Did you really?
Yeah. I was wondering how common that was, but maybe not that common.
I had
Silva. Did you get a gray dong hair, gray head hair, or gray beard hair?
I haven't seen the dong in years, so I don't know. I could be all white down there like a silverback. Don't know. Thanks for bringing. Thanks for bringing that up. But the
easy,
beard,
Dave,
the beard,
easy.
The beard
that's
is,
okay.
The beard is snow capped.
Yeah.
So Silva's balls look like strawberries you forgot in the back of the refrigerator. Just snow white.
And a whole lot of dwarves.
Okay. So here's a little inside baseball about my health.
Oh.
Okay.
411 fuck sheet. Hope you're listening.
Hope you're listening. Okay. So when the WCW is going down, I started getting white spots on my chin and right around here. I got white spots underneath my armpits that started to grow, and I got them in the crotch. Okay. And it's what they called at that time, the the Michael Jackson disease. You know, you know the
Wait, is this because you loved a woman who wasn't clean?
no, no, no. It's just that, you know, some African American people have, you know, the splotches of white right on their face. Well,
Okay.
I got that as well. And I'm not going to show you, but I can raise my armpits on either side and it's just completely white circles where there's no pigmentation. Yes. Chris North put up his. I don't know how to pronounce that. I think it's called Biliago. That's what I had. And that's what got the beard white. And I went to a doctor and he gave me some cream to put on it and it stopped the spread. But it was going all over the place. Fortunately, I never got any in my head, in my hair. So I'm sure one day I'll wake up and I said this before, poof, my hair will be completely gray. But I've been able to stay away from it pretty much now. So there you go. There's some inside info. It'll you know, a little inside baseball. How about that,
Tony?
Conrad?
I sometimes think about weird things. Like I want to run something
really?
past you. I ran past my wife earlier this week, and I could tell she thought about it because hours later, as we were driving to the beach, she chimed in and she said something that let me know she'd been thinking about it. So here's my question. Let's say right now, if your house were to catch on fire and you called 911 and the fire truck came out,
Yeah.
would they charge you for the fire truck coming to your house? Would you get a bill?
Probably.
I don't think you do.
You don't? You
Here's
get a bill
another
for a
example.
rescue squad coming to your house, don't you?
Let's say you fucked around and got arrested.
Yeah.
And they put you in the back of a cop car and took you down to the police station. Do you have to pay for the cop car ride?
I doubt it.
Why do you have to pay for an ambulance ride?
Because it's part of it's become part of medical care.
I'm not arguing that. I'm just thinking, I think it's interesting that because my wife, you know, she's in the medical field and she said, I wonder how many lives could be saved each year if people weren't so cautious or nervous about what the cost of an ambulance ride might be.
Right. She's
Because
right.
like if we think we have a fire in our house, we'll call 911 and they'll come try to help put it out. And there's no charge to protect our property. And if somebody's an asshole and breaks a law that we think we can punish and get a ticket out of, well, there's no charge for the cop car ride.
Okay.
But if you ride the back of the ambulance, boy, it's thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And I just think it's interesting that, I mean, because most people would consider themselves like, if you're an EMT, then you, much like a police officer, if you're a paramedic or a police officer or a firefighter, I kind of consider you a civil servant.
Right.
But yet one of these car rides costs a lot more than the others. That doesn't make any sense to me.
No, and you know, I never did experience that until I moved into a big city.
Yeah.
Back home in Craigsville, Virginia, we had a rescue squad that was part of the fire department. And they would come get you and take you to the hospital, and it was part of the public service. But it wasn't until I moved into, like, first of all, Greensboro, then Charlotte, and then that all of a sudden became a part of healthcare. But hey,
Coach Keith says, yes, anything goes wrong with me and my health, I'm driving to the hospital. An ambulance costs over $5,000. See, that's what I mean. Like, if he thinks it's so important, I don't know if it's life or death. I wouldn't flip a coin for 5 G's, but people have that sort of thought process before they just dial it up. I'm saying ambulance rides should cost the same as cop car rides. If you're going to get arrested, you should have to pay a fine for that. Make these dumbasses who are committing crimes pay for the use of those emergency services. But damnation, take these people to the hospital and let the ambulance ride just be figured in. Hey, we'll get you there.
Yeah.
And if they're abusing it, you know, fine their ass. But you know, when you get there, if it's legitimate and they actually need emergency services, right?
Right. Yeah. And that public service announcement is from Conrad and Tony. And what happened when?
Well, so I was just thinking, you know, another example of that is like diarrhea. Here's a theory about diarrhea. Take a look at this, Tony. Read this out loud for us.
Gonorrhea would have been a good name for diarrhea medicine.
Isn't that a great gonorrhea?
Gonorrhea.
If you could take a pill called gonorrhea and it would get rid of your diarrhea, and your diarrhea would be gonorrhea.
Yeah.
That's a great name.
I knew this line of thought.
What?
Was going to have a punchline at the end of it. I just knew it.
Hey, so we see Pat Patterson here. He's going to be teaming with another French Canadian. Well, not really French Canadian, but certainly a Frenchman. Andre Roussimoff. We know him as Andre the Giant. Here he is in 1980, just a few years away from the biggest match in history. He's almost like a superhero.
Yeah.
But your superhero, of course, is Batman. I know you're wearing a Superman hoodie tonight, but usually you're more of a Batman guy. Is that fair to say?
Yes, that's fair to say.
Well, we've got something very Batman oriented to show you tonight here, Tony.
Okay.
You're supposed to read it out loud.
I'm like Batman, but instead of fighting crime, I drink and jerk off. What the hell? Where do you find this bullshit?
That was your daughter posted that to your story on Instagram.
I don't think so. Huh. Look at
we're seeing some requests for the commercial for go-karts again. I'll have Silva play that as soon as it's ready. If you guys.
Hi guys, my name is Ashley, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to go-kart race. Just kidding. I don't know anything about go-kart racing, and my name is Ashley. But for 80% off, you can see my pussy.
Ashley.
People are saying in the comments now, "Hey, Ashley, we're gonna have to get her on the show."
Why not?
For 80% off.
Why not? Amazing. You know who we really have to get on the show?
Who's that?
Harley Cameron.
Oh, goddamn. Can you imagine?
Love to get her on the show.
Love to have that. By the way, we've got two big matches coming up after this. We've got Rene Goulet in singles action, and then Tito Santana versus the incredible Hulk Hogan.
Right.
This is the era where Hulk Hogan is actually managed by Freddie Blassie. He wrestled Tito about 20 times prior to this. They had been all over the country since January. He would only have a couple more matches with Tito, and then he would famously, as we know, in 1981, become a part of the AWA. And man, he just went wild. Of course, we know one of the reasons he winds up leaving Vince is he wanted to go make the Rocky movie. And Vince was adamant that he did not want him to do that. He did it and went to the AWA, created Hulkamania, started selling shirts, asked Vern for his cut of the merch. Vern said, nope, I keep all the merch. Vince McMahon called. Hogan couldn't get to New York fast enough, and along with him went Bobby Heenan and Mean Gene Okerlund and Dr. D. And before you know it, the same thing happened in every territory.
Yep.
And the national expansion was on.
I got to say, I was going to say, and along with him went Bobby Heenan and Gene Okerlund and also Vern Gagne's territory. Wow, look at the police. What the fuck? Oh, okay. They're standing there because they're on the floor. I got it. The police just kind of walked up to the barricade there.
I have to admit, I have not seen a lot of Bobby Duncombe. I'm much more familiar with Bobby Duncombe Jr.
Yeah.
But this is got to be one of the first times I've actually watched a Bobby Duncombe match. It is interesting to see Ken Patera there, knowing that Ken, years prior to this, was such big friends with Ric Flair. I mean, even Megan has told me she remembers Andre coming over for dinner and her as just a little girl and being able to take his rings and put almost like a bracelet.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. Patera also, did very well in Mid-Atlantic as well, and I watched him. And of course, he was an Olympic power lifter. Did he win like a bronze medal or something in the Olympics in maybe in '76 in Montreal, possibly? I believe so. But he was he really made the transition. I got to meet him. I can't remember where I met him, at an autograph signing somewhere. It was a big deal for me to be able to meet him. I told him so. Your microphone. Okay. There it is. There it is. Okay.
Andre's moving pretty good.
Yes. Did you look up Ken Patera when he was in the Olympics?
I did not.
Okay.
I thought Silva was.
Yeah. Okay.
He's telling us all his favorite John Hughes movies, like we give a fuck.
Okay.
We don't care.
Okay. I can look up Ken Patera. Ken Patera. There's Ken Patera, 2004, Ken Patera bench press, Ken Patera jail.
Isn't that crazy that that's what people want to know?
Yeah.
Hey, I did something the other day I'd heard about, and it sounded really great, and then I actually tried it. It was not good. Someone said, the next time you get a Big Mac, get it with extra Mac sauce. And I couldn't tell you the last time I had a Big Mac. But I thought, you know what? That does sound like a hack. I'm going to try that. And it was a shitty mess. I don't think I'm eating McDonald's anytime soon again. My God.
Look at God.
That was a great visual, wasn't it? To see Pat Patterson like a child on his shoulders.
By the way, Ken Patera was in the Olympics in Munich in '72. Right now, he's 82 years old. So, I don't know. I guess he didn't do well in the Olympics.
No, he didn't, which is why he got into wrestling.
Yeah, he got a gold medal in the Pan Am Games, a silver medal in the World Weightlifting Championships, but in the Olympics, nothing. How about that?
Hey, Bryant says, are you surprised that Larry didn't stay and become a bigger star in WWE? With the Bruno rivalry, he could have been huge. Of course, we know he is going to ultimately marry Vern's daughter and become the AWA World Champion, eventually come to work for WCW, become a part of the Dangerous Alliance, have a great tag team run with Arn Anderson, and then become one of the more iconic voices of Monday Nitro, the #1 wrestling show in all the land. But in an alternate universe, it does feel like if he would have been here through the national expansion events, man, Bruno on a WrestleMania or Zbyszko on a WrestleMania, why not? That feels like a big opportunity.
You're not kidding. It feels like a big opportunity, and it feels like to me he could have been an iconic voice for the WWE had he stayed in there. Larry was made to be an announcer. The way he emphasized words and the way he talked, and it was just, Larry was great, man. He was a great announcer, and I'm glad I got a chance to work with him. I don't give him enough props. When people ask me about the great announcers I've worked with, I mean, God, I've worked with so many, from Gordon Soley, Jim Ross, and of course Nigel now, that I give a lot of props to. And I talk about Jesse, and I talk about Bobby, and I talk about Dutch Mantell and Kevin Sullivan. But I don't give enough props to Larry Zbyszko. Mike Tenay was wonderful. Lee Marshall, one of my favorite people. But I don't give enough props to Larry. And you just go back and listen to some of the things he had to say. He was good at it. He was great.
I gave you every opportunity, and you mentioned Taz exactly 0 times.
Yeah, and Taz, and
You're a sorry motherfucker. He's going to dump you on your head tomorrow.
well, you know what? Won't be the first time. You know, you don't know what you're going to say and make Taz angry, but
Well, breathing's part of it.
yeah. One of the things I can definitely say about working with Taz, I laughed more with Taz than I have any announcer I've ever been with, and that includes Heenan.
I believe that.
I mean, I just when he's
Why won't he
miserable,
let anybody else see that though? Why won't he?
I don't know. Yeah,
He keeps it so close to the vest.
I know he does. You've got to really know him to see. Just, I mean, it's freaking side splitting humor.
People would love it though, Tony, if he just let it out. You know it?
Well, you know, they saw a little bit of it a couple of times, right? On our commercials, and that one where I called him dude. Okay.
Yes.
And he went off on me.
That was funny.
That was funny. And
as he was doing it, were you laughing and that made it worse?
Yes.
Yes.
My face was down and Excalibur was laughing too, and that even made it worse.
I can't imagine.
Right. He said something in a meeting the other day, and he used the word Jones afterwards.
Oh yeah.
And I just had to, I mean, I was busted out laughing. I was just dying. And it was like, God, just the way he used the word Jones.
We had a question here in the live chat. Did Roddy Piper ever wrestle Larry Zbyszko? And as a matter of fact, that did happen.
Okay.
You would go back to the year 1976.
Wow.
And it happened between October and December of 1976 in NWA Hollywood. So at like the Olympic Auditorium in Los Angeles, California. That's where you would see Larry Zbyszko and Roddy Piper hook it up. But I could imagine them in the WWF. You know, I could Larry Zbyszko really fits with like Roddy Piper, Bobby Orton, Paul Orndorff. I see it.
I do too. Did you see this finish right here? Pat Patterson had the figure 4 on Bobby Duncombe, and then Andre with a big splash on the other end. That was pretty cool.
Fun.
Yeah.
Renee Goulet in the singles action, and then our main event is on deck. It's Tito Santana versus the incredible Hulk Hogan with Freddie Blassie. It is interesting to think, you know, just what rich WWF history we're taking a look at here. You know, we know that, you know, those are the two most beloved figures in Vince's version of WWE history for sure. I mean, all those years later, he kept Andre's cast and Andre's Halliburton in his office as like really one of the only keepsakes from any performer. I don't think there was another performer's keepsake in there.
Right.
I know his son-in-law gifted him that big T-Rex head, but outside of that, I mean, that's pretty much it. And obviously Pat Patterson, you know, we've sort of said for years that Bruce was one of Vince's right-hand men, and that's true, but he was probably second in command behind Pat Patterson. I mean, Pat, as Chris Jericho once described him, is, you know, wrestling's Yoda. And even Dave Meltzer wrote in Pat's obituary that he was probably the second most influential person in pro wrestling in the last 50 years, second only to Vince McMahon.
Right.
That's pretty spectacular to think that that's what we've seen so far. And then coming up is Tito Santana and Hulk Hogan. We know Hulk Hogan's going to get it into the stratosphere, but you take a look at what an important piece of the culture of wrestling that Mexico represents. And Tito was kind of his chosen Mexican star there for a really long time. I mean, there's so many great lucha talent in AEW and in WWE and just every major promotion these days. But as Vince is going national, Tito's kind of his choice for all of Mexico, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is, and it says a lot about what Tito could do. I mean, he was a great wrestler. He could talk. He was very, very good. And I got to see Tito last year during the Hall of Fame inductions. That was cool. Here is Baron Miguel Cicluna, who was actually one of the was a big guy, and you could see how much bigger he is than Rene Goulet here. Had a big long reach, and was a big heel for Vince Sr. for a long time. Just a big guy, man.
We're getting close here on the time for our main event. Is there one match that stood out most of all to you
Tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, the tag match we just saw. I think that stood out more than any. And
I agree so far.
Zbyszko and Bruno was good too, because it was really the only big angle on this whole show. I think, unless there was an angle between Hogan and Tito Santana. But back then, Conrad, a lot of the star of the show was just seeing wrestling at Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
It didn't matter who they put in there. They sold out every time back then. So that was it. I mean, I don't know the storyline between Scicluna and Rene Goulet here. It may have been a story. I don't know, but did it matter? I mean,
in these days too, Vince especially, he would just put on matches. Not everything had a story.
Right.
Certainly the main event usually had a story, but
sure. And the main event right before the
intermission.
The intermission, yeah. And we've talked about this back in the day. They would put one of the big matches right before the intermission.
Isn't it interesting to look too that these guys are not wearing knee pads or elbow pads?
Is there something? Yeah.
Just trunks and boots.
I think the idea of putting one of the main events on before intermission was that the tickets went on sale for the next show at intermission.
That's right.
And they wanted you to see something to get you fired up about wanting to come back and see it again.
Yes.
Yeah.
So and that's what they were doing with Bruno. So,
right.
They had all the cops involved and they had to pull him off, and Bruno snapped.
Mm-hmm.
So they went ahead and announced the return right then.
Right. And people flooded the box office that was open right now for tickets.
That's kind of the way it always used to be, though, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. So, yeah, they're just on the mat. Just on the mat.
Yeah. But thankfully, we're going to get to see Hulk Hogan soon.
Yeah.
Hey, we are just about 10 days away. I can't believe this is real. We're 10 days away from another AEW pay-per-view. It feels like just last weekend was Revolution. I know it wasn't, but it feels like it was.
Mm-hmm.
And Dynasty's going to be here before you know it. And this is the AEW Philadelphia pay-per-view debut. Of course, AEW's done television there many times. And I hope one day we get to see, an AEW pay-per-view there. Well, one day is next weekend. Dynasty, and we've already had some big matches announced, but AEW in Philadelphia just feels like it goes together. So many of my AEW friends that I have are hardcore wrestling fans. And when you think about a hardcore wrestling fan, if you had to pick their hometown, you might pick Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Absolutely. We've always had a good response there and a good house, and this should be the best one ever for us. So I love Philadelphia fans. And I say that living in Atlanta, where the Braves and obviously the Falcons live, but I'm not a Falcons fan. Never have been, never will be.
Why are you anti-Falcons?
Well, I worked for WSB Radio for many years, and I went to my boss and I said, we ought to cover the Falcons because we never covered them. And they said, yeah. So they started sending me to Falcon games, and the Falcons media, I'm sure it's changed since then, but the media relations department was so bad and so unhelpful. It's almost as if they didn't want you there covering the games, that it left a really bad taste in my mouth about the Falcons to this day. I have no want for them at all.
It's not even really probably their fault. There's a couple of assholes in the media department.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. And we had at that time #1 radio station in Atlanta, and we were giving them coverage that the radio station never gave them, but they still acted like a bunch of assholes. So that's why. So anyway, it's just personal, you see. Hey, by the way, we had last Thursday we had our live Zoom chat, and
How did it go, Tony?
it was really, really good. We had a good time. Had a couple of the guys that are with us now. James O'Corai showed up. Coach Keith was with us. Let's see. I think Chris North was with us. Maybe not Chris. John Hamilton showed up. Bryant was with us. And let's see. I think I don't know if he's still with us, but let me scroll through the names here of the people we had. Anyway, we had a great Bad Money Slim joined us. How about that? Hadn't seen Bad Money Slim in quite a while. Here comes the incredible Hulk Hogan, by the way.
They called him the fabulous Hulk Hogan.
And Dave McClay joined us. If I'm missing anybody, Josh Henney joined us from Omaha. And I'd like to expand it. I'd like to get more people to join us. We stayed about an hour and 20 minutes or so, but you know, if we get a big crowd, I'll hang around until everybody has said their piece. We go around. Unfortunately, Adam DeMoy joined us as well, but it was fun. It was fun doing that for the first time. Let's see if Hogan has got his back shaved in that V. Have you ever seen that?
Well, you mean his chest? It was like an atomic bomb.
I thought his back. Okay.
No. Don't Dutch man tell him.
Okay.
No chest hair Jones here.
Okay.
Of course, I'm not there on the video yet, but
yeah, I'm not there. But Dave is. Right.
Yeah, Dave showed us that. Mm-hmm. Hey, did you ever have a tuxedo shirt like Fink there, where it was all curly and fluffy like that?
No, the puffy shirt from like Seinfeld.
Yeah.
No, I never did.
Man, look how young Tito was.
Amazing.
You know, that's Dave Silva's favorite wrestler.
It doesn't surprise me.
I mean, the Flying Burrito, one of the all-time greats.
It was one of the greats.
You know what? I'm in such a mood for that. I may try to get me a burrito tomorrow.
How about that?
Yeah.
You just never know what's going to pique your appetite.
Well, you know what? It's been a while since I've had a good burrito. Do you have a burrito place you like in your area?
No. There's Tijuana Joe's, which is pretty good here.
Is that like a build your own burrito bar or just a Mexican restaurant?
Just a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah. Like that's what we've got down here at the beach. But in Huntsville, you know, you could go to like Moe's Southwest Grill.
Hang on a second.
They've got Chipotle.
Hang on a second.
Yes, sir.
Wait till Hulk Hogan turns around.
What?
Oh, I thought maybe he shaved his back. You're right.
What's crazy is he's already wearing the yellow.
I know.
And I can't tell. Are those black knee pads or are those red?
Yeah. No, those look black. Yeah, those are black. How about this, man? Being a heel at Madison Square Garden.
Who would have thought, you know, in less than 4 years, he'll be the world champ.
Mm-hmm.
And in 5 years, almost to the day, he's going to be tagging with Mr. T. Muhammad Ali is going to be there with the Rockettes, and wrestling's never going to be the same. It's so crazy to think. I mean, because, timeline wise, we're talking about from 2020 to now. And 2020 doesn't seem like that long ago at all.
No.
It's remarkable.
Yeah. It just shows you how quickly things can change in pro wrestling. And
yeah, to be here as a heel, leave, do a Sylvester Stallone movie, go to Japan, go to the AWA, come back, world champ, MTV, WrestleMania, Sports Illustrated, Saturday Night Live. Come on.
Yep. There you go. Great. And again, the 80s.
Yes, I love the 80s.
I'm
with you. I really wished, and I know this makes me sound like I'm, not all the way there, and maybe I'm not, But didn't you just imagine, based on everything we read and watched and were entertained by, didn't you imagine by this point that time travel would be possible? I
Yes,
thought for sure we'd have flying cars and time travel would be real.
sure, and that's what Robert Zemeckis thought too with Back to the Future too.
Yes.
Yep. He went into the future in 2019? Wasn't it 2019 he went?
That sounds awesome, doesn't it?
Flying cars? Yeah. Or maybe it was
Little did we
2001.
know,
Yeah.
a year later we'd all be stuck in our house.
Yes. Tito trying 2015, Bryant tells us.
I see that.
Yeah. 2015. You're right, Bryant. And John
You know what's
Howard.
interesting? Hulk Hogan at times always kind of wrestled like a heel, didn't he?
Yeah. Of course he did. The whole
He's got
thing
a lot of hair right there.
Yeah, the whole thing of pointing at the opponent, and he's doing some things that he did as the Incredible Hulk Hogan. Taking bumps here too, man. And man, doesn't take much. Just rear chin lock, neck vice, if you will, applied. This has been a fun night, Conrad.
Do you have a when we watch old nostalgia wrestling, because you grew up on, stuff from the 70s and 80s.
Right.
Would you want to watch Jim Crockett or the Mid-Atlantic Territory #1 and WWF #2? Or is there something else that you would prefer? Or do I have the order way wrong?
No, you have it right. I think #3 would have been the AWA back then.
Okay.
Yeah. Florida Championship Wrestling was also really big. I think all that even more than World Class Championship Wrestling would have been for me. Because Florida Championship Wrestling from Florida, a lot of the stars came up. Dusty, Superstar Billy Graham, Dick Slater, Kevin Sullivan, all came through the Mid-Atlantic. Very briefly, but still did.
Hey, I want to mention something. I don't know that we've touched on it, but the natural disasters are going into the WWE Hall of Fame. So earthquake and tugboat / typhoon / shockmaster. So John Tenta, Shark, Avalanche, whatever you want to call these guys through the years, call them WWE Hall of Famers now. What do you make of the natural disasters going into the WWE Hall of Fame, Tony?
I'm always in favor of guys who've put in the time and the effort and who are good guys going to the Hall of Fame, and they all were. So I'm for it. I don't think I would ever be one of those in the wrestling, because I've been in the wrestling business most of my adult life. I don't think I would ever be one of those that would say, "Nah, he doesn't deserve it." You should, I'd be one of those that say, "Well, he should be in. Why not?" Right?
I've heard Ric Flair say this guy shouldn't be in several times. Yes.
Okay. He's
not shy about letting his feelings be shared there.
You know what? Rick and I are different people, and I think anybody who's put some time into the business should be in it. And I to be honest with you, I don't know the list of who all was in it, but I do know that when I was in Waterloo that weekend, everybody that got in with me deserved it.
Yes.
And I'm looking out, and many people who were already in were there, and everybody that I saw certainly deserved it. So I don't know if I would ever say that about anybody not deserving the Hall of Fame. Of course, I'm different. I'm more of a fan than I was a performer, and I think that I have an appreciation and an admiration for pro wrestlers that even still, I still have that today. I admire what they do, what they can do. Even the kids today that, even more so now that they put their lives on the line and their bodies and their, like we talked about, like at the beginning, John Moxley getting hit in the back with a spike, for crying out loud. I mean, okay, that takes commitment to your craft right there. Say, yeah, go ahead and hit me with it. I'll be okay. It's amazing. Hey,
it's a little more amazing than this headlock here.
I know. I was getting ready to say we're
Hogan's wearing Tito down.
We're about 2 minutes to the end of the show, about a minute to the end of the show, and they're still in the headlock.
Hey, one of the suggestions we've gotten here from the live chat, John Hamilton says we should watch Body Slam. I'm for it. I think we go find that movie, download it, and watch Body Slam together, and let you do some random reenactments. We could have some fun sort of spoofing that.
Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Are we allowed to track it? I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a way we can. I think we can track anything as long as it's 7 seconds or less, Tony.
Oh, okay.
We just can't do much of it,
Right.
You can dip in and move around a little bit.
All right, this should be close to the finish here. Let's see what happens. Vertical suplex. 1, 2. He's got the tights. 3, and he wins it.
That was Vince on commentary.
Wow.
So Vince Jr. on commentary here for Hulk Hogan beating Tito Santana. Little did they know what the future would hold once Vince got control of the company from his dad and he anointed Hulk Hogan as the next big thing. This was a lot of fun, Tony. I never know what to expect when we sit down and we watch old wrestling together, but this was nostalgia, and that's what this show is all about, is goofing off with your friends and watching old wrestling. But unfortunately, right now, it looks like it's about that time.
Dave Silva is in the ring, everybody, and he's awaiting his opponent. It looks like it's going to be Pondwater. Dave, my God, he's coming to the ring. What is that on his side? He's got a crack whore hooked on his side with her teeth. And he's got in his right hand, he's got a can of tuna. Oh my God, he's dragging this whore to the ring, and he's got a can of tuna, and he goes to the ropes, and he hits Dave Silva in the head, and Dave Silva, oh my God, am I seeing things? No, that's Vienna sausages flying out of the ass of Dave Silva. Good God, we got to go. We can't watch this any longer. Thanks for being with us. We're desperately out of time. We'll see you each and every week on What Happened When. We come to you Wednesdays, but don't forget we come to you Mondays exclusively on
Patreon, patreon.com/WHW Monday. And of course, adfreeshows.com.
She won't let go. My God.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson here to tell you a little more about what adfreeshows.com is all about. Get early, ad-free access to more than a dozen of your favorite wrestling podcasts every single week, starting at just $9. That's less than 20 cents an episode each month. And yes, you can listen to them all directly through Apple Podcasts or your regular podcast apps. How easy is that? Ad-free shows also has thousands of hours worth of bonus content and docuseries like Title Chase, Eric Fires Back, Conversations with Conrad, and The Insiders. Plus new series like The Book with David Crockett, Monday Mailbags with Mike Chioda and Nick Patrick, and a whole lot more. And you want to talk about early? You can't get any earlier than listening to the shows live. You can be a part of the live studio audience as we record the podcast. Plus, ride shotgun alongside your favorite childhood heroes for live watch-alongs, Q&As, and other interactive experiences every single month. Come on now, see for yourself what thousands of other wrestling fans from around the world have discovered, that adfreeshows.com is the best value in wrestling. Check it out today, and hey, when you do, the first week is completely free. adfreeshows.com.